Wow, g'day everybody. Good to see you again. Alaba Jones here from the EarthGuard Astral Projection crew. Wow, I think we have just been on our biggest mission yet. I cannot think of anything that we've done, and we've done quite a lot over the years, that I would consider more consequential than what we pulled off today. Whoo! It's a big deal, and I don't know if I'm excited or exhausted. I could be a bit of both. But I'm very, very glad that our team got this far and crossed this line in the sand. I think now demonkind might actually be eradicated. I think we might actually be able to do that after completing what we completed today. So recently you would have noticed that I haven't been publishing a heck of a lot of material lately. And there's a very good reason for that. I'm tired. I've been doing this a while. Man, I'm tired. I got to keep on a handle on everything that every member of the team's doing and all of the things that they're doing on their off their own bat and their solo missions, and try and bring all of this information together in one place. And I'm just a little bit frazzled, to be honest. But I think we're seeing the other side of it because we found what I really, really hoped we would find. We found the factory where they make demons. In fact, we found three of them. But, we've been killing demons wholesale on large scale for many years now and wondering where they all come from. And now we know. We've finally figured out how we destroy a particular breed of demon. And then 3 weeks later, we're fighting it again and just sort of scratching our heads going, how did that happen? And, it's not as though we don't know what's going on. We're very, very good. We'd kill the demon and then we'd wait for a couple of weeks and search the astral planes to try and find them again, and only then declare them extinguished, only to find them back up in action again, not so much longer and not so much later. But it's these demonic factories that have been the problem all along. So you may or may not recall a mission we did a few weeks ago called Destroying the Demonic Executive, in which we found the 12 most important demons and squeezed the life out of them in a very literal sense. Now, that video was quite entertaining, but, I just had the feeling it wouldn't last. I just know that we've done this sort of thing before, and I'm just going, how long can I run on this treadmill before I run out of steam? And so a couple of days later, I found most of them confined to a very small area of the astral plane. And they were waiting for something. I couldn't figure out what it was. And they were waiting for a realm to be produced, an overlay on the Earth, an addition to Earth's magnetic field. And these fields say many, many things. But some of them say this being is okay to be here, this demon. Some of them are about tiptoeing forward with collective consciousness and trying to take us in a specific direction. For instance, away from family and into divorce. But I think they've been pushing these cultural additions for a long, long time. And they're in such incremental stages. They're so wafer thin, these additions. To the energetic fields of Earth, to what's energetically possible on Earth. And so they've made these things and they've been manufacturing them for a long time as well. And these demons cannot exist without a sympathetic set of overlays over Earth, over the Earth's energetic field. And they were also being produced in these factories. And so they'd take ordinary garden variety loosh and put it into the factory and turn it into more bad guys and more pathways for them to exist here and do what they want to do. Man, I was excited. I was so excited when we finally figured out what this place was. Because this is the wellspring where demonkind comes from. This is their birthing chambers. This is their nursery. This is where it all starts. This is where all of the craziness on earth is manufactured. And thank golly, we got somewhere with it. It was only a very small team that came with us. Only five of us came on this flight. But I know that we've all been flying together so long and we've just got so much practice at doing this that, nothing really stood in our way. Though there were some exhausting elements towards the end. Let me get to that in a minute. And it is worth watching to the end of this episode just so you hear what's behind the demon factories. Who is it behind the demon factories and what are they up to? Now, these factories also produced and injected what I'm going to call an anesthetic into Gaia's field so that they wouldn't feel it. It's just exactly the same as a mosquito bite, like or any other parasite. They deaden the area around them so that the host doesn't notice. But this mosquito bite has been going on for thousands of years. It's grown quite large and quite itchy, we'll say. Now, what we did was we invaded this factory and just started ripping everything apart. And there was lots to do, and it was all very rewarding work because we know we've been pushing against this material for a long time. And now that we're certain there's a finite amount of demon material on the earth. And to take away their capacity to create more demons and create more impact on our culture through these overlays, man, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But as we were pulling this factory apart, of course, there was also a design team here who design new demons and design new twists in collective consciousness that they want to add in. Like these guys are well, we might say the drivers of human culture, because, and there is even an argument to say that demonic human culture is actually demonic culture being lived by humans. And it's rough, but when you think of the greed, the lust, the service to self, not the service to others, the rewarding of dishonesty in politics, government, media, and business. Like it goes on and on. But none of this is living in a world where it's naturally in alignment with the human heart, which is by far and away our most important organ, by far and away, far more important than the brain. We took those guys to a courtroom of Central Sun, Galactic Central Sun, and he wasn't very impressed, so it was over very, very quickly. But what we found, of course, was that this facility had a portal that went back to another facility in orbit or off-world that also connected to two other factories. And so we had quite a bit of work on our hands, but this is what we're good at. This is what we've been practicing for a long time. We're able to clean up all three of those factories within about an hour and a half. And the management group also got pushed off world. Everything they were connected with, all of the material and infrastructure that they had built, well, we pushed it all off world. And then there was this little tether, this thing, it would only fall away so far. It would only exit the Earth's orbit so far. And what we found is that actually there's some legal matters. So they wrote up a series of contracts. They wrote them, they pretended that Mother Earth signed them, and then they've been passing it off as their license to do what they want here. So, of course, we took that to court as well. We took the documents that were holding it there, led us to, and this is the reveal. Man, she looked Arcturian, kinda black skin, burned out eye socket holes, black eyes, um, but shaped Arcturian. I don't know what the hell she was. I don't know if we'll see another one like her. But she was the claimant who said that she owned the Earthlings. She owned all of the humans. They were her personal property. Just makes that movie Jupiter Ascending all the more poignant, don't you think? I'll be gentle and say that that being was incredibly arrogant. She was like Lilith. She was like a living Lilith. Her personality was just as ugly as everything Lilith stands for. Entitled, vicious, moody, bitchy, like just a horrible person, horrible being to be around. And her original haughtiness just told her, "Get out of my way, peasant. I don't need to answer to you." And she threw a spell at us, and we bounced it straight back at her within 2 seconds. So we're not leaving that easily. And I think she saw fear for the first time in years and years and years. And after that, she was far more compliant as she fronted up the documentation that she had. And this is what the discussion was about. And so the whole discussion was very, very similar to the discussion about GMO foods. If a GMO food mixes with an organic food, then the offspring of that, is it organic or is it owned actually by the company? Because this merging would not have occurred if the government, if that company hadn't created the GMO seed. Isn't that annoying? Right? And aren't the echoes, this is demonic logic. We own everything. We just need to make it sound okay. Um, but, that was really, really trumped when we said, well, the Earthlings are individuals. You are going against free will. And all your points about GMO are because what you're doing it by owning them at all, you are fundamentally breaking the law. And that's when the court started to turn on her, and she and her reams and reams of contracts and self-written licenses were just burned. And she started to collapse as a person, as a being. And like, really, all we saw was like she was a being made out of 1,000 rats all smushed together. Like each time, each bit of nasty that fell out of her, collapsed out of her, that the courts, agreed had to leave her, that she didn't have any of those rights, and the strength she gains from those rights also must be forfeited. It was one of the most hideous things that I've ever seen. And for a guy who fights demons for a fucking living, like that's saying a lot. I just never even imagined that there would be somebody out there who claimed that they owned humanity. It never really crossed my mind, but there it is. There it is. Of course, the Freemasons were defending her, and believe it or not, we've crossed swords with Freemasons on a number of occasions, and we shut them down. And I really think that the 33rd level of Freemasonry, I believe there's higher levels than that. I don't know how to else to understand it other than that's who we were fighting. But these guys weren't 33, they were that and a bit more. But our anti-dark work is as sharp as it gets, so they were not a problem either. I don't know whether I need a party or a nap because I'm exhausted. Like this is so much. There's so much going on here. It's ridiculous. But you know, I'm enheartened by the victories that we have, and today is a massive milestone because if ever there was truly a death knell for demonkind, it happened today. And we have several more leads from this, which include looking for contracts for people who own all of the plants and all of the minerals and the insects, and my favorite one, people who own all the parasites on the earth, or even just the soil itself. Like these are things that we'll be looking for on over the next few weeks. And I've got another one coming up about the legal system, about that. I don't know if the word overlap or duplication between demonic law and the court-based legal system. I really, the parallels just get tighter and tighter and tighter the closer we come to it. But this was all really, really made incredibly clear during this expedition. I have a lot more to say as usual, but I'll respect your time and let you go. Like and subscribe to the channel. I have a membership site called theearthguard.org. We're publishing even more about this. So by all means, jump on board. I will also be running in the near future some prayer meetings to pray for the demise of the Illuminati, which I'm ready to be entertained by. But when I know a lot of you are not A-grade astral projectors, but I do know that you have an interest in this arena and that a lot of you have been wanting to help. And so this would be the moment. So I'll be publishing stuff about praying for the demise of the Illuminati in the very, very near future. And I highly encourage you to join because that's just the next step in where we're going. Yeah. Anyway, my love to you all. Farewell. May the force be with you, and bye for now.